Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a long time since I've done a sit down and talk through with you guys. How do you like my setup? Got my little Santa over there and my little North Pole over there. I just wanted to address one thing quickly before I get into the video. With the last tutorial that I did, I gained over 400, I want to say over 400 or 500 subscribers, and I want to thank you guys so much. And although this is not an effects tutorial, those are coming, so be on the lookout for those. And I'm going to address some of the comments that were left on that last video when I have, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, you can go check it out on the effects makeup look that I have on my channel right now with featuring Jordan. I'm going to do a sit down video with him so he can go through and explain to you guys that left some of those ugly comments. And but yeah, I don't think I should have had to address you guys that did that, but you know what? He's a kid. And if it was my son, I would do anything that I could in my power to protect him. So that's another video to come. And you are going to be seeing more of him too, because he is someone very special. So on to the video. So the purpose of today's video is we're going to be doing a comparison of the Maybelline's Matte and Poreless, which is my all-time favorite, all-time, and I mean literally of all time. And I'm going to compare that to the Jafra Royal Jelly Radiance Foundation Broad Spectrum SPF 20. Long name. But I'm going to be comparing the two. On one side, I do have on the Maybelline's Matte and Poreless. And on the other side, I have the Jafra Foundation. If you're interested in seeing my thorough review on this look right here, keep on watching. So I've already prepped my skin, as always, using my Milk of Magnesia. Now, like I said before, when I know I'm going to be wearing this makeup for many hours and I need my makeup to last, regardless of what foundation I'm going to be using, I always prep my skin with Milk of Magnesia. And I've talked about it plenty of times before. And it's just the Philips, the original, not flavored. You don't want to get the one that's cherry flavored or lemon flavored or any of those. Just the plain original one. And what I do is I pour some out a little bit on this mixing palette. And then I go in with a wedge and I just stipple that on all over my T-zone area. So mind you, I have already moisturized my skin as well. Even though I do have oily skin, the skin still needs to be prepped properly so the makeup sits on the skin better. So like I said, I'm going to be doing half and half of my face, two different foundations. And I decided to do this side of my face, the Jafra Royal Jelly Radiance Foundation, because it is very full coverage, which you're about to see. And especially because here I do have some pretty bad breakouts. So I'm going to let you guys see how well that covers. This side of my face, I'm going to be using my Maybelline's Matte and Poreless. So what I'm going to do is just pour some out on the back of my hand. So that's the Jafra Royal Jelly Radiance Foundation. So I am in the shade Bronze D2. And literally that's all I'm going to be using for that side of the face. And to apply that, I'm using my Real Techniques buffing brush. It is dirty, but we're going to be using that. So I'm just going to pick some up on the brush like so. And I'm going to stipple that on. This foundation gives a little bit more of a dewy finish, so I don't recommend it for everyday use if you're not going to be prepping and setting the skin as I'm going to be doing today. Because if you don't have time for all that, then this foundation will give you too much dewiness, especially if you have oily skin. It's gonna make you look very greasy. And again, I'm just stippling that all over. Making sure to blend that down the neck. And I don't apply the foundation under my eyes. I do leave that area bare so that I can go in and color correct and apply concealer. So again, this is not a first impressions. I have tried this out, and both times I've tried it out the same way that I'm going to be showing you today. I'm going to go back over those areas like there where I have a little bit of scarring right in here, just to give those a little bit more coverage. But do you see the sheen that it gives the skin? And it literally looks like skin. That's the thing that I like about this foundation. So it's more so recommended for somebody who has combination like myself or dry skin. Okay, so that's this side of my face. You can tell the difference in color. All right, so I'm gonna move on to the other side. I'm gonna wipe off on a tissue a little bit of what's left over of that foundation. And now I'm gonna go in with my Maybelline's Matte and Poreless. So I just wiped off whatever was left on the back of my hand. Okay. And it's, that, again, is shade 228. That's actually even way too much. That would have been enough to cover my entire face, just so you all know. So now we're going to go on to this side. And again, I'm stippling that on. What I noticed, though, with this one, because it's a lot thicker, is that I like to buff it into the skin more than stipple it on, because I feel that if I just push it and stipple it on the skin, it makes it look more cakey. So just really working that in. Harley, hold on, mama. Like I said, I'm just leaving the under eye area bare because I'm going to go in and color correct, conceal. I'm also going to show you how I contour with this foundation, with both foundations, so you can see how it settles in. So I'm not sure if it's picking up on camera, but from what I'm seeing in my little mirror, you can definitely see the color difference. This one is a lot more tanner, bronze, just like the color says. And this side is a lot more yellow undertone. Yes, I do have a lot of yellow in my skin, but I would like to match it to my chest. And I'm wearing a sweater, so you can't really tell. But when I blend everything out, eventually it ends up coming all together. So I'm just gonna skim through the next few steps, which is my corrector, concealer, and contour. And I'm gonna set everything, and then I'll come back and let you know my final thoughts and so that you guys can see the comparison of the Jafra Royal Jelly versus the Maybelline's Matte and Poreless. Okay, so just to recap, on this side we have the Jafra Royal Jelly Radiance Foundation Broad Spectrum SPF 20. And that's in the shade Bronze 2. So, on the other side is the Maybelline's Matte and Poreless Fit Me Maybelline's Fit Me Matte and Poreless Foundation in the shade 228. So we got Jafra. And we got Maybelline's Matte and Poreless. Okay, so I decided to keep the look super simple on the eyes so that the focus was mainly on the face. Like I said, I did exactly what I would normally do if I knew I was going to be needing to wear this makeup out for many, many hours. And I don't really like doing any touch-ups in between, aside from blotting, using the beauty blotting sheets to absorb the oils. But powder, anything else, I don't like to touch my face at all. Now let's compare the two. So the Jafra, like I said, the Jafra is very, very emollient. It's, well, I guess I shouldn't say emollient. It's just because it's not really creamy. It's a little hard to describe. But if you notice that when I started to apply it, it went on sheer, but it was still full coverage. And it also gave a more of a sheen to the skin. So I do like that because it gives it looks more natural. It gives a more natural finish. Whereas the Maybelline's Matte and Poreless on this side, right away when I started to apply it, I noticed that compared to the Jafra, this one was a lot more drying. Harley! This side was a lot more drying. It dried super quick. And so I felt like I had to really work and buff it into the skin, which has ever been an issue for me because, like I said, I've been using that one for quite a while. but only because I compared it to the Jafra. I felt like with the Jafra, I was just like boom, 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 and I was done. With the Maybelline, I did have to work it in a little bit more to the skin, and then it's also more full coverage, and it is thicker. So that's the only, that's the difference in the consistency in the two. Now the colors, I don't know if you guys can tell the difference in the shade, but when I applied it, you definitely could. This side was darker than this side. This side, which is the Maybelline, was a lot more yellow, and this side was a little bit more on the pink side, but it was hard to really see that because of how bronze, hence the name, how bronze the color was. See what else? Okay, so when I went in to conceal on the Maybelline side, I had to be very careful how much I put here, because when I was blending it down, if I put too much, then it would be harder to work it into the skin. Like I said, this Maybelline, other products just really grab to it, and it's kind of hard to work with it. Whereas the Jafra, everything was smooth and was able to just be, blend well into the skin. Same thing goes for the contour. The Jafra side was able to work it more with my brush than I was on this side. This side, I felt like it stuck right away, and I had little time to really work with it. As far as the powders, on the Jafra side, I felt like I could use way more than I could on the Maybelline side, because the Maybelline was so drying, it's matte and poreless, that I really didn't need that much powder. And on this side, I put a lot more because I was able to get away with it, being how skin-like it was. Very, very sheen. That was it, basically. Everything else went perfectly fine over it. Actually, no, I would say that the highlight and blush, everything was a lot more pigmented, I felt like, on this side than I did on this side. And that's why in the video you saw me also spritzing on some setting spray. Now, I don't use setting spray to make your makeup last longer. I don't use it for that reason. I use it so that the powders, because I use so much powders, I use it so that the powders can settle into the skin and not sit on top. That spray is actually also by Jafra. It is their Beauty Dynamics makeup setting spray. And I'll provide a link in the description below to my website. Since I am a distributor, or I shouldn't say distributor, I am a beauty consultant. So you guys can order from me directly. Pictures. So that's going to be kind of hard because there's no daylight right now. It is nighttime and I'm using my ring light, but I don't see any problem with the lighting picking up any kind of flashback. I did moisturize my skin before applying the Milk of Magnesia. So I moisturized with my SPF 50, which is also by Jafra and the Royal Jelly collection. And then the foundation is SPF 20. So let me try to take a selfie with my phone. So I can show you guys here. So I'm going to be using the back camera. Now first do one without flash. So that's without flash on the Jafra side. And I'm going to do with flash. And that's with flash. Okay, so nope, I don't see an issue with the SPF in this foundation at all. The other thing was the wear on it. When I was in Vegas for the Grammys, I did wear my Maybelline's Matte and Poreless on my flight in. So I did my makeup that morning about 6 o'clock. And then I didn't get into my by the time I called it a night and went to bed, it was about 11 o'clock. So my makeup lasted me well over 18 hours, I would say. And I definitely pull out the Maybelline when I know it's going to be a long day, or if it's going to be really humid and I'm going to be sweaty running around. But the Jafra was something still new, and I honestly didn't want to risk it, not knowing how my makeup was going to last. Day of the Grammys, I did actually wear my Jafra foundation, and the amount of compliments that I received from the people at the hotel, the staff working there, and the girls. I mean, you can tell that the skin just looked like skin. It was radiant, not so matte. Maybe it's because I'm pregnant. Who knows, y'all? But it gave such a beautiful glow from within. So it wasn't that all the highlighter I had on. You could definitely tell that it was a really, really nice subtle glow from within. Okay, so thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review. I know it was a lot of talking, but I do like to explain in detail what I use, why I use it, and yeah. So until next time,